I'm long DYDX. Why am I long DYDX? Very simply because you have a long-standing, high time frame accumulation cycle. You poke your head up, and now you're accumulating, you're finding some sort of consolidation at resistance, which is likely to pop out next major resistance up here around $13, okay? I'm long hook for the same reasons. A long-standing accumulation cycle, you poked your head out of it, you're accumulating right at the resistance, next major or likely target, probably at the phi ratio up here somewhere. So I probably should move this down, okay? So that's hook. I'm also long lit entry for the same reasons. Once again, long-standing accumulation. You're about to pop your head out, target the next likely resistance here somewhere, okay? Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency market at large. Today is December 7th, 2023. And Bitcoin has finally reached some sort of resistance, very likely, wherein it's likely going to result in a steep retracement. But that's not the story. That's not what's that interesting about what I'm seeing in the charts. It is time to focus on altcoins. It is time to experience significant gains investing in altcoins. Guys, it's time to cycle into alts. It's very clear in all the charts. This is what I really want to focus on today. If that sounds interesting to you, then watch until the very end. Obviously, we're also going to talk about Bitcoin. I'm also going to talk about where I see Bitcoin going, how I see it going there. So let's get started without any further ado. Hope everybody's well. Bitcoin on the daily time frame. Here's what I'm seeing, okay? I'm seeing some significant resistance at this level, at this 43K level. Again, the central thesis is unchanged. The idea is that this impulse has to retrace all the way back to the $32,000 region. Reason being, that region represents staunch resistance that must be flipped into support before continuation to the upside. You can't just go and go and go, ignoring this RS flip right here. If that were the case, then you could expect some crypto capo type retracement where God knows how far down we go, because this would be a corrective pattern, some sort of swing failure pattern, right? But if indeed we're in a genuine Elliott wave impulse, what you should expect is a healthy, relatively simple, straightforward retracement back to the $32,000 region. That's what we see on the higher time frames. Now, let's zoom in and see just why I think 43K thereabouts is where we should experience some resistance. And again, I say thereabouts because you can expect, as I've illustrated on this chart, a B wave. A B wave meaning a retest of the high. And that retest can go even higher, okay? Now, the other thing I want to say is this may take longer than some people expect, okay? Given what we know now, if indeed 43K is the the top of this move, right? And I don't mean nominal top. I forget the term I'm looking for, but if it's the top of this move, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, we should expect these 3 waves down to take more or less around the same time as the 5 waves up took. And the 5 waves up have since taken 50 days. So from here, you should expect Bitcoin to bottom out once again 50 days from now, which should put us all the way back down to the $32,000 mark, early January or mid-January, something like that. okay, mid to late January. So that's what I'm seeing in terms of time, given the information I have. Obviously, everything changes with new information, but given what the charts are showing right now, with a high degree of probability, if this plays out, that's what I'm seeing for this move. I do expect this entire retracement to take more or less 50 days, and the way I'm expecting it, okay, it can happen in a number of ways. You can get a zigzag, right? But more likely than not, you get a flat correction, and that flat correction would it would give the asset a chance to make a higher high. And generally, really bullish assets that haven't pumped in a long time, they've been consolidating, they've been under a great deal of resistance for a long period of time, they want to make that higher high. So I do expect this B wave to go up higher than 44K, even maybe even up to 45K, 46K, right? So don't be surprised if that happens. But that's not that important. What's important is that the next very likely level of support is this, right? We spent all this time in the 38K range, right? And this was approximately 22 days, okay? So just that same principle stands, okay? 22 days of resistance. It took us 22 days to break this very clear resistance, popped up to the upside, must be retested as support. And that is exactly what I'm expecting in this drop. And so that is kind of where you should find initial support in a drop. It doesn't drop automatically just all in one go. We know all corrective patterns happen in flavors of 3, you know, according to Elliott wave theory. And if you look at the charts, you'll see this, and you can confirm this for yourselves. So we expect 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I meant pivot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's what I'm expecting. That's a cookie cut. That is a basic theoretical correction, a flat correction that you see, you know, 85% of the time in these cases, right? Obviously, you can get different variations of this, but that's what I'm expecting. That's the time frame I'm expecting it in. So let's zoom in really quickly and see what we've been doing on the hourly time frame. So on the hourly time frame, in the immediate short term, I'm expecting Bitcoin to continue this correction, right? Which started, right? Orthodox is the word I was looking for. So in Elliott wave theory, we have something called an orthodox high, which means the point at which you measure a move. Okay, so this would be considered the orthodox high. Even if that B wave goes up beyond this level of 44, 45K, right? That wouldn't be the orthodox high. That would just be another nominal high. In any case, I'm looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Do you see that? You'd go up, maybe even breaking this high with this B wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see, it's fractal, right? You see in even this A wave the same progression you see in the larger structure, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, pivot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That then takes us down to the 38K region. Then we go for that B wave, right? So basically, for the next 50 days, Bitcoin's going to be a bit messy, playing between, for the most part of that 50 days, I'm expecting to play between the areas of 38 and 45, 46K, okay? In this time that Bitcoin is doing this, right? Doing this up and down stuff, this is when we can expect alts to really shine. Be very clear. One of the reasons I started doing my analysis the way I've been doing my analysis is because I've noticed that nothing, well, some things, but very few things, but generally most things are going as Bitcoin goes. Except when Bitcoin is consolidating, right? If Bitcoin's consolidating, it's pretty much stagnant, stable. It gives the chance for things to move. But if Bitcoin's making an impulsive move to the upside or downside, generally speaking, things will follow suit. So when Bitcoin's going now from this region of 44, 45K all the way back down to 31, 32K level, everything drops, okay? So you don't want to fool yourself into thinking that, oh, but, you know, these altcoins are going to be moving independently. No. You don't want to do that. So you do want to continue to track Bitcoin even if you're not invested in Bitcoin directly. So that's Bitcoin. Always important to understand, even if our focus is on altcoins. And now let's talk about altcoins. Okay, for those of you who have been in crypto for some time, you will be very familiar with this graphic. Okay, this is published by Secrets of Crypto, very popular account on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and he or she discusses alt season and how capital flows from Bitcoin to large caps, to Ethereum, to large caps, and into small caps. I think this is generally correct, but I don't think it is this complicated. I would say, generally speaking, what you observe and what, you can look at this historically speaking in the charts. It's typically Bitcoin moves, and then Ethereum, most large cap moves, large cap altcoins move, and then the rest moves. That's it. No crazy Ethereum, large caps, small caps, blah blah blah. No. It doesn't go like that. But this is exactly what we saw. Bitcoin moved in the past. So since we broke out of this 38K consolidation, it's been 5-6 days. Bitcoin moved about 15-16% in that time. In that same amount of time, if you consult your total 2 chart, which represents the collection of altcoins, right? Altcoins collectively have only moved about 12%, okay? And that is, right, counting what we did in the past couple days, which has been, the majority of that move. That being said, Bitcoin has been outperforming altcoins, right? And we could see that in the Bitcoin dominance chart, right? And this is also an important chart. I did a post earlier in today saying, money is flowing into altcoins. Like you should be cycling into altcoins right now. If you're not, from Bitcoin, because that's exactly what the charts are saying. If you don't know what I'm talking about, study the total 2 chart, the aggregate crypto altcoin chart, and then study the Bitcoin dominance chart, which is a measure of Bitcoin's dominance against the rest of the cryptocurrency market. When Bitcoin dominance is going up, typically Bitcoin is outperforming altcoins. That typically happens on the way down, but sometimes on the way up. And then when Bitcoin dominance is going down, that means altcoins are gaining against Bitcoin. This usually happens when altcoins are going up. Bitcoin is going up, but not as much. Okay, and what's important is when you talk about alt seasons, every single alt season, right, without exception, is some time when Bitcoin dominance is going down. Altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin, right? And so this is what we're seeing here on this chart. This is why you want to pay attention to the Bitcoin dominance chart, because this is really where you make significant amount of gains. Obviously, you can make gains just trading Bitcoin, but most people make legendary gains in crypto by trading altcoins. And what you see here is 1, 2, 1, 2, right? So basically pivots showing resistance at this mark. You're going to either probably, or more likely, come down, come back up again for a final time, right? Because you always want these two AB bases and a pivot, or 3 pairs of AB basing. So right now, again, we have 1 pair of AB basing, 2 pairs of AB basing. We're going to come down a little bit and then going back up more likely than not before the final hurrah to the downside, which is the major move in altcoins against Bitcoin. So this is really what you want to be paying attention to, and this is crystal clear, absolutely crystal clear in the total 2 chart as I just showed you, right? The total 2 chart, again, is basically taking all altcoins in cryptocurrency, smushing them together in one chart, and showing and seeing what altcoins are typically doing, right? And so what you can see here is exactly what we've been talking about. Altcoins have been in consolidation in this accumulative cycle, right? This range for more than 500 days, okay? And we're finally breaking out of it. And the next likely target is going to be this $1 trillion mark. I've been talking about that for quite some time. So if altcoins are truly breaking out in the aggregate, right, you can expect altcoins to move about 40% to the upside, much more than Bitcoin moved to the upside, right? Bitcoin moved a bit to the upside, took a lot longer. Altcoins are going to do that same move to the next significant resistance in a lot less time, okay? So that 40% move that Bitcoin put in the beginning of the year, or less than 40%, but that move right out of its consolidation. Let's go back to Bitcoin so you know what I'm talking about. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's go on the daily time frame, compare apples to apples. Basically, what we're looking at altcoins doing is this right here. Okay, this is how far behind altcoins are against Bitcoin. Okay, remember, big consolidation after the bear market drawdown. This is the 525 days that you're looking at that we just saw in altcoins. And that move that we're putting in right now is this move. Okay, the first move out of the main consolidation, main accumulation of the bear market. That's what altcoins are putting in right now. Okay, so this is what you can expect from altcoins playing catch up to Bitcoin, and that's basically the name of the game. This is what, you know, Secrets of Crypto is talking about. Basically, this is another way of his or her, I'm assuming it's a him or a he. He's explaining cycles, and he's explaining how, you know, the capital flows from the king altcoin to the major players of Ethereum and all that stuff to other assets. Okay, it's not a precise science, but generally speaking, you do see that. And so, like I said, this first move to the major resistance is happening right now. So do expect an aggregate move in altcoins, 40% to the upside. What does that mean? That means some are going to move 100%, others are going to move 30% or something like that. Do you see what I mean? This is just an average measure if you put all altcoins in one chart. And again, what we likely can expect Bitcoin to do is not much, just move correctively up and down in this space before a big drop. But you should know that a big drop is coming, more likely than not around the new moon. Why? Because the new moon represent local market tops, right? If you look at the history of moon phases and market movements, new moons, and the next new moon is, I think, December 12th, which is in about 5 days from now, yeah? So I believe that's Monday, because today's the 7th, Thursday, Friday, 8th, 9th, Saturday, 10th, Sunday, 11th, Monday, 12th, Tuesday. Okay, basically the beginning of next week, when the DXY is moving, this is around the time we can expect this move down to 38. And then that is also when we can expect altcoins after this move, right, to the next major resistance to consolidate and come back down to retest this ever so important 525-day resistance as support. So that's basically all I want to say. Just mind your altcoins. This is the time you want to be focusing on altcoins. Not every altcoin. Be careful. Some altcoins have already run and are more likely than not distributing. Link is a good example. This is one altcoin you don't want to necessarily be invested in right now because it's already made its move. Okay? You see this very clearly. Major resistance for 500 and some odd days. It's already broken out. This is the move that we're waiting for in most altcoins. That hasn't happened yet. Link already did that. It's putting in this double top right here. more likely than not in distribution. I was in this short, already took profit to flip it into longs in other assets. Okay, so now I'm long a lot of these other assets that have yet to move. Let's look at these on their more extensive charts that I have up here. Okay, so you can get an idea as to why I'm long some of these assets. I'm long DYDX. Why am I long DYDX? Very simply because you have a long standing high time frame accumulation cycle. You poke your head up and now you're accumulating, you're finding some sort of consolidation at resistance, which is likely to pop out next major resistance up here around $13. Okay, I'm long hook for the same reasons. A long-standing accumulation cycle, you poked your head out of it, you're accumulating right at the resistance. Next major or likely target, probably at the phi ratio up here somewhere. So I probably should move this down, okay? So that's hook. I'm also long Litentry for the same reasons. Once again, long-standing accumulation. You're about to pop your head out, target the next likely resistance here somewhere, okay? I'm also long Quant. This is a nice one, very, very nice. I'll show you why, okay? Long standing accumulation, except this is taking a different form. This looks like a zigzag. So 5 waves up, 1, 2, 3 waves down, basing right around the 0.5 to 618 Fibonacci retracement tool. You don't, if you can't see that, if that's not clear to you, pull out your Fibonacci retracement tool from the bottom, orthodox top, and you can see we're nicely basing right in, whoops. Oh, let's do that again. Apologies, I don't know where it went. You can see some very nice long-standing accumulation, right in the golden pocket where you would expect this zigzag to find support, okay? And now we go up 5 waves impulsively, right? Because if this is a zigzag, this is a B, so zigzag, sorry. It's a corrective Elliott wave move, right? 5 waves up, 3 waves down, 5 waves up. So basically I'm looking for my 5 waves up. I think my the first of those 5 waves is probably going to hit this resistance right here, and then continue to go. So that's what we're looking at for quant. Very nice high time frame breakout, okay? I'm also long Ren. Same reasons, right? They all look different, but the idea remains, right? Instead of having an orthogonal accumulation, this is down and to the right, right? So this is basically quite bullish because it's slanted down, 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 down. And on the small time frames, you've made this cupola, broken out, retested it. This is a breakout of a high time frame resistance, okay, in Ren, and you're essentially targeting your first, you're targeting, because this is a falling wedge, the top of the wedge, probably the bottom of this this distributive range right here, okay? So that's probably more likely your target, more likely than not your target for Ren. Okay, I'm also long RSR, same reasons. The idea is the same. High time frame resistances are being broken, right? And these high time frame resistances represent high time frame accumulation channels. Once again, you have a falling wedge here in RSR. I didn't draw that as accurately as I could, but you get the idea. Here's the breakout, boom, right? Next major resistance, I want to take profit because I understand that we're going to get significant resistance or significant retracement, especially after the first breakout. Always get significant retracement. I'm also long sandbox, same idea, falling wedge, breaking out, targeting the top of the wedge where the wedge started. That's likely the first main target, okay? And last but not least, I'm also long stacks, Okay, stacks is a nice one on the high time frame. Why is this nice? Because just like the other zigzag we saw, you see 5 waves up, 3 waves down, 1 2 3, and then this is an accumulation, and this is basically the breakout of 5 waves up, targeting the next significant resistance, which is up here. Okay, so this is all basically, I wouldn't say easy, but straightforward on the high time frames, and you can get more precise on the smaller time frames for your entries. But just be mindful not to invest in things that have already run, like Chainlink. Okay, it's quite clear what has already run, what hasn't. Chainlink's very straightforward in that you've made this high time frame breakout. What does a high time frame breakout means? It means that you're going to have to come back, retest previous resistance as new support, and before you continue to the upside. So just be careful about that, guys. That's it for me. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was useful. Like, share, and subscribe if you got value, and I will see you next time.